Hello, everyone. How are you? It is Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and this is Just Like You, Everyday People, Amazing Stories. We are back for episode number 14. I cannot believe it. And I see my guest has already joined us. Let me get her in here, and I'll go over a few housekeeping issues. Hello, Aisha. Are you there? This is waiting for you to join. So while she is joining, folks, just want to remind you, hello,
Hey,
beautiful.
Taryn.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I just want to remind everybody real quick a few housekeeping things that we are here 7:30 to 8 p.m. So I'm hoping the internet is going to let us be great through the whole thing. But should anything crazy happen, we will be back. So if we get cut off or disconnected, we will be back from 7:30 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And again, this is Just Like You, Everyday People, Amazing Stories. If you have a story or know someone who does, and I say we all do, please get a hold of me. We would love to hear your story and love to share it, and the world would love to hear it. And we just appreciate our guest today, Aisha Crump, coming on. And I'm so glad that I called you. I just picked up the phone and I was like, you know what? I'm going to call her because I know and I see, as a fellow Boilermaker,
Woo woo.
whoop, whoop. And then I just, like started seeing all the stuff you're doing. And I was just like, you know what? I'm so glad that I picked up the phone and called you. And I'm even more glad that you said yes to come on here because I just think you have a journey that there's a lot of people that probably want to do. You know what I mean? Like you'll share your story, but you're just like us, right? But you have done something incredible.
Oh, thanks, Taryn.
And and the world is watching because you're on now world stage to me, you know? So just thank you so much for being on. I won't say a lot about it. I'll let you share your story. But again, just thank you so much for answering the phone when I called
Of course.
and for picking up and being willing to share your story. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, thanks so much, Taryn, for having me. And for those that you don't know, Taryn and I went to Purdue together in West Lafayette, Indiana. So that's where we met. And so us Boilermakers, we stick together for sure. As Taryn said, my name is Aisha Ceballos Crump, maiden, married, and I am the owner and founder of Honey Baby Naturals. And actually, I actually just founded a new company, which is Beauty Loft, which is a beauty brand incubator.
Nice.
But this journey has been amazing. I actually
Mm-hmm.
went to Purdue, majored in chemical engineering. So I have a background in engineering, which is kind of different for someone who owns beauty brands. Typically, you have more internet-based businesses, influencers, just business minded that do it. I did it from a
Mm-hmm.
science perspective. So 4 years ago, I launched Honey Baby Naturals, and it was actually, I worked in the industry for corporate for about 14 years, and I worked for other brands, helped them develop it.
Mm-hmm.
And about 5 years ago, I took a leap of faith. I bet on me, and I was vice president of sales marketing for a company, and had a great job, but I wasn't content. I was
Mm-hmm.
feeling like there was something better I should do, something more I should do, and quit my job. And 4 years ago, I launched Honey Baby Naturals. It has been an incredible journey, like, to say the least. Today, I actually was on the phone with VCs, and I'm telling my story, and they're like, wait, you just launched 4 years ago?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's funny because I'm like, people call me and they have no idea. But yeah, 4 years ago, the first year of business, I actually got into Target. And
Yes.
now, fast forward 4 years later, we're in Target, Walmart, Sally Beauty, CVS,
Mm-hmm.
Rite Aid, Walgreens, TJ Maxx, Marshalls. We're in 4 other countries, and we just recently did Amazon. So now we're really big on e-commerce as well because of
Wow.
COVID. Yes, yes. So
Awesome.
it's been a crazy journey. And the brand Honey Baby Naturals was founded on based on my family. So I'm Puerto Rican, and my husband is Black. He's African American. We have 3 biracial kids with all different hair textures, and Honey Baby Naturals was created to address the needs of all their different textures and concerns. So
Hmm.
yeah, we have, oh God, I'm like, we have 14 products, so 11
Hmm.
hair products, 3 body products, and the entire line was developed to hydrate, heal, and protect. And it's really about healthy hair, healthy skin that is for everyone of the family, regardless of race, regardless of gender, and regardless of age. And I think, one of the challenge is I feel like in the beauty industry, everything's been so segmented. Either you're Black, you're white, you're Latino. Either you're a man, you're a woman, you're a child, you're an adult. Why can't there be a line for everyone, regardless of race, age, sex? And that's what Honey Baby Naturals
Hmm.
is.
And it smells delish. It's
Uh,
it
don't
smells
eat it though. It's not honey.
it smells delicious. I don't know. I don't know what it all is, but I just know that it smells delish.
Yeah.
You just want to like it when it's on somebody. You just want to eat it. Like
It's
it's
funny
just
because my kids walk around the school, and it started with my son, and everyone's like, "What is that?" Oh my God! So like all the teachers, the coaches, the kids that go to school with them, they're all like honey babies. Like the whole school is full of honey baby. You smell it through the hallway. So they're
yeah.
my biggest models. And if anyone's gone to our website or use our products and follow the brand, you'll see that they have completely different hair textures. And
Mhm.
so that's why it's great. I have 3 walking models, and they sell the brand. People stop us down the street every day. Oh my God, what do you use in your hair? So
Mhm.
yeah, it's been incredible. And one thing that you just said, Taryn, it's been crazy because I'm a behind the scenes kind of person. Like, that's what engineers. We're like constantly formulating and developing. I just started my own, we formed our own company. Now we're manufacturing,
Mhm.
and we're doing logistics, distribution. But one of the things that I'm trying to do better with is on social and
Mhm.
public speaking events. And this past week, I had this amazing, amazing opportunity to fill a nationally televised like campaign with one of the bigger retailers. I can't really tell much about it, but I'm
Okay.
so excited. But it's just going to be on a national stage, and it's telling our journey, telling our story, and I think it'd be great for the brand.
Yes, and I mean, how what did I remember seeing? I don't know. I think it was maybe Instagram or Facebook or something when you first started being in stores. And I remember going to the store. I think it was Target first. I don't know. Does that keep
Sorry.
going out? I feel like my Instagram keeps going out. But anyway, and I remember looking at your product and thinking to myself, like, I know her, you know, like I'm so proud of her. So if I felt the way I felt, how must you have felt? When you went there for the first time and your family saw that. I mean, tell us about
Yeah.
that a little bit because I know that must have
It's
been
and
amazing.
I think it's like for me, it's like I'm a dreamer, and I never doubted myself. Like I knew that that
Hmm.
was the path I would take. So I wasn't really like, to me it was like, okay, now it's on shelf. Like how am I going to sell it? How am I going to push
Hmm.
units? Because people don't realize that's the easy part. The hard part is staying in stores and to
Hmm.
maintain these thresholds of sales. And when you're
Hmm.
competing with Fortune 500 companies, when you have the likes of these massive multi-million and billion-dollar companies that are trying to take your shelf space, you have to compete with them. So that was a difficult part. But the story is, even Target, I didn't tell my kids. And the Target,
Oh.
we live in Chicago, so Target, like right by my kids' school, like a few blocks away. I'm like, oh, let's go to Target, which we do every 2 days. And I take the kids in there. And we walk down the aisle, and I'm always like snooping to see what else is out there. I just want to know. I'm always doing market research. And so I take the girls, and then I say, what's out? Let's see what's new. And they look,
Ah.
and then they spot it, and they're like, oh my God, it's honey. And mind you, this was 4 years ago. It's Honey Baby. And I have the pictures to this day that we took. And, it's just, it's crazy. It's just like that big moment, like, man, like this is real. Like you think about legacy and generational wealth.
Hmm.
And and I think that was part of the reason why I quit my brand. I mean, quit my job. I actually, I worked with Lisa Price when she did Carol's Daughter. I worked with the Gardner family with ORS. I worked with the Luster family, like a lot of these legacy families, the Johnson family, they have created these brands that are in the homes. And for me, it was just like, I know I can do this, like I know that I can create this amazing product line that can be in people's homes and they recognize it. So it was really about, for me, just like that legacy and that creating something that's tangible that people can look at. And, to go with your story, Taryn, I'm from Gary, Indiana. And, I have so many people from Gary that, follow me on social media and support our brand. And, I don't even realize it. And they're buying my product and they're just like, oh my God, I tell everybody we know you. Like, we're proud of you. I was like, I'm nobody. I'm just Aisha from Gary, Indiana, who went to Purdue, who sat in your class. And so like, for me, it's like, I just want to inspire others. And, one of the things we did this year is, and I haven't really made it public, so the few people that are on here today get to see it, but, a lot of people struggle to start their own businesses. It's so difficult because, you might have a great idea, but what about the logistics, the supply chain, the capital, the things that you don't think about and that make it challenging. A lot of small businesses fail within the first 2 years. And especially in our community, minority-owned businesses, women-owned businesses, like it's really challenging. So anyway, with that being said, I realized that I was able to navigate because of my relationships. And in January, my husband and I bought a 15,000 square foot warehouse, and we're going to do logistics and branding and marketing and strategy for small entrepreneurs and up and coming brands under our new company, Beauty Loft. So that's what I've been working on. And I've been blessed during COVID is that I want to give back and I want to help other people to create under one umbrella. And so I actually launched another brand last year, Botanica Beauty, co-launched it. And my daughters are actually going to launch their brand next year. So we're just like, nice. We're working on big things. We have 3 other entrepreneurs that are coming underneath us, but it's really about, how do we pay it forward? And I know, this live series is really about doing great things. Why be an entrepreneur and be successful if you can't pass it on and pay it forward? And, that's a big part of what I want to do. And, I want that young girl who is from Gary, Indiana, went to Purdue and sat in that engineering class struggling to see me and say, dang, she made it. She believed in herself and she made it.
Yeah. And I think that's just, that's so important because that's, like you said, one of the reasons why I started this show. I had actually thought about doing it more of a paper show a long time ago, doing a magazine in Los Angeles. And of course, that's old news now. And then, just during this time, I was just like, you know what? There are so many stories. I mean, I have the gift of gab. So God gave me that gift. So I needed to figure out how else I can use it. I do a lot of things, obviously outside of the live, but how else I could use it and how else I could inspire people, to your point. And just inspire people for positivity. We're just so much going on right now. And these stories like yours are just, they're positive for anybody. They're positive for young women. They're positive for men. They're positive for moms. They're positive for entrepreneurs. They're just positive for so many people. So I guess that gets me to one of my questions. Do you have anything like that you would say maybe is your 1 or 2 big lessons that you've learned during this whole process? Any lessons?
So, I think the biggest lesson would be you have to take risk and chances. And, when I was ready to start this company and quit my job, my parents thought I was crazy. It's like, you went to school and you studied engineering and you did this and you want to start a beauty business, like everyone thought I was nuts. And it's like, believe in yourself and take chances. If you believe in yourself and you have a good idea, like what's the worst that could happen? And so that was one of the biggest lessons I learned. And then I think the other thing would be just be persistent. I was coming into a crowded category, and I tell the story. When I first went into my Target meeting, I had 1,000 followers on Instagram. People didn't even know who the brand was. I had just launched, but I was persistent in my messaging, persistent in getting into people's hands and just constantly, my kids laughing. They're like, I'm a Target stalker. I go into stores and I'm like seeing ladies buying other products. I'm like, whoa, have you heard of Honey Baby? Or like, I'm walking down the street handing out samples. And so it's like, that persistence. And, so that's a big part of it, just being persistent and, believing in your dreams. And, like even now I can stop, but I just want to keep creating. And I just feel like, the sky's the limit. I want to retire at 50.
Yeah.
So I still got time left, but I
Yeah.
don't think that's ever going to really happen.
I don't know that you'd really do that though. I feel like you might be doing what you want at 50, more of what you want, but I don't think
But
you'd
look,
ever stop working. I just don't see you saying, oh, let me just relax on the beach somewhere. Like somehow there'll be
oh,
a
believe
branding.
me, I work hard and I play hard. Like so my son's going to college next week. We're
Yeah,
taking him
I
to
saw
school.
that.
And I'm like, one down, two to go. Woo! I'm counting down the years because when I'm 50, I'm gonna be on a yacht in the south of France somewhere.
Well, I hope that, we'll be still in touch when we're both 50 and we can see, because I think that too. I think, oh, I'm going to retire when I'm 50, but then I'm also like I love what I do. So,
I
and I
do
know you
too.
love
I
what you
do.
do too. So like I said, I don't know if we'll be retired yet. Somebody said you've given me hope and push to dive into entrepreneurship. It was so scary to start, but I'm happy I made this decision.
Oh,
So someone saying that here on our live. So it's, like you said, you're inspiring people. And she said, I think it's a girl said, whoever it was said, you give them hope.
I know it's
And
crazy.
isn't that what it's
I told
about?
a story this week, Taryn, and I'll tell it again because I was doing this like interview and I had a bunch of, it was a remote interview and I had a bunch of producers out of California and two different locations. They're watching it and it was all remote I'm telling a story about, growing up. I grew up in Gary and we didn't have much. My parents
Mm-hmm.
always struggled. My dad was always laid off. And we grew up very poor. I was the first person in my family to go to college. I don't even know if you knew that about me, but, that was, a lot of people in our generation at Purdue and that were there, have been through the same struggle. And I remember driving, I'm from Gary, so we used to drive to downtown Chicago. And I used to look at the buildings and I would dream and I said, ooh, I think Oprah lives there.
Mm.
One day I'm going to live in a high rise or in a building and I'm going to have this and I'm going to just make it for myself. And it's just funny. I look now and I tell my kids that story and they're like, really? Everything you said you wanted to do, you just made come true. And
Isn't
that's,
that awesome?
it is.
That's
It is.
that's
And I was like, just imagine like going to the school that we had a chance to go to and
mm-hmm.
experiencing the things that we got to do. Like we were in Forbes, we were in USA Today last
Mm-hmm.
year. Like Purdue featured me in the Alumnus magazine. I was like, me? Really? So all those things, it just feels so surreal. And it's like all I'm doing is living my best life and pursuing my dreams.
Our guest here says, I'm a single mother and 22. So the guest that said that you give her hope. So,
That's
I think that's what, I mean, to me, that's what we do is about, right? That's
yeah.
what it's about. Like you are taking what God has given you, your talent, your skills, and I think you said something that I really like too, is creating generational wealth, right? Like
Yeah.
passing stuff on for your kids and for your kids' kids. And I
Yeah.
think that that's so important. And then you're also taking your talents too and using them to serve. We're kind of, to me, that's kind of what we're put here for. We're put here to serve others, and to share our stories.
Yeah.
So I think, my next question is, the lessons you've learned, but any more lessons that you would maybe necessarily like continue to pass on to someone else? You said be persistent, bet on yourself. Anything else that you would say, if that is, somebody is a single mother, 22, or somebody right now maybe is in that beginning phases of starting a business and, kind of wondering what do they need to do or what do they need to look out for? Anything else there?
So one thing I tell my children, so my kids are 18, 13, and 12, or 14, sorry, 18, 14, it's going to be 13. They grow up too fast.
They're growing fast.
But the one thing, like I even tell my children and even my 18-year-old, I'm like, don't be afraid to speak up. And I think that
Mm.
that generation, like below, like I'm 43, I'm not afraid to say it, but I think that, people in their 20s and younger sometimes because of social media and
Mhm.
texting and the way that they communicate, they don't speak up and they're not,
That's a good
public
one.
speaking and engaging. And I think that, one of the things I always says is if people don't hear you and you're silent, they're not going to know your idea or they're not going to know. If I wasn't afraid to walk into Target headquarters 3 months into my brand and represent and speak proudly and openly about this concept, like I would never have had the chance to become
Mhm.
be in retail. And so not being afraid to speak up and speak out. And then I love that. This is my favorite thing is the biggest risk is never taking a risk.
Right.
And, truly, truly, what is the worst that can happen? And I always say that. Even now I'm starting new businesses, and I'm like, oh, I'm sacrificing this because I'm doing this, but I just feel like it's all coming to that point where it's building up to something great.
Right. I say something similar, like you said, don't be afraid to speak up. I say this saying, it's like there are two types of people in the world: people who say stuff and maybe wish they shouldn't, or people who don't say anything at all and wish they would have.
Yes, that's great. That is
You
great.
know?
And I get scared because my kids is like, they're like, Mom, you're always saying, and I'm like, no, you have to be this way. You have to speak up. You have to speak out because closed mouths do not get fed.
Yeah, and you have to, and I think it's about too, like, especially during this time right now, it's about standing for something, you know? Like, and everybody doesn't have to agree with what you speak up or speak out about. But you have to, I guess, make your voice heard, you
Yes,
know? And that saying, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. But sometimes it's about standing for something and standing your ground. And I'm sure with three younger kids, that's very important lesson to teach them is to speak up, because they're going to be in lots of situations where they have to speak up,
absolutely.
or they want to speak up.
Yes. And I think, especially doing what I'm doing, I'm a beauty pioneer in a
Mm-hmm.
multi-textured hair care space. I'm the first Latina, I'm Puerto Rican, to ever have a natural hair and skincare brand in mass retail. Like, they didn't understand this. And so I'm talking to the retailers and they're like, oh, well, we're going to put you here. No, I'm Latina, I'm Puerto Rican. Like, we're
Mm-hmm.
Afro-Caribbean women and we're proud of our heritage. And so, they might not agree with it. And it might
Right.
get me not in the section I need to be in, but I have to tell people and I have to say it because it's important to me. And I think that because I've been saying it for 2 or 3 years, we're finally starting to see this movement in the beauty industry. And I'm so proud of it. And I'm like, dang, am I a pioneer in the Latina beauty industry?
You
And
are.
this whole
You're.
space. I know, it's crazy. People keep calling me and they're like, "Oh, are you the first?" I'm like, "What? Really? I can't believe it." But it's because I'm proud and I always say it, and I make sure that our voices are heard, and hopefully, like, now you're gonna start to see a lot more in this category. Changing the
Yeah.
face of beauty. That's the hashtag we're using.
What'd you say? You said
Changing the face of beauty.
so. I think that's important too. When you say, you are, you know, creating this space where no one has been before. Like
Yes.
that's incredible, right? So you've had this brand for 5 years now. Yeah, 5 now.
Four.
Four.
I quit
And
my job 5 years ago, so
okay,
4 years.
and you are changing the face of beauty, and you're doing first, a lot of first. And some people kind of wish they would do that, and they've been in business for I don't know how long. So I think that is just to be admired. I mean, I know you work hard. I know you. Every time I have talked to you on the phone, you're multitasking and what's going on. So I know that you work hard, and be proud of that. But I think that's something, when people are listening to the story today, and again, like I said, think, man, she's just like us, and she's changing the face of beauty. She's created a brand. She's a mom. She's an entrepreneur. She founded a company. Not just you founded your company, but now you're helping others found their company or start their company. And then you've just bought some space. And I mean, you did that, I think, at a time where other people were trying to figure out what to do, right?
I know it's crazy. Like, and people don't realize when you start a small business, the overhead is so much, and so many entrepreneurs. I was shipping
Mm-hmm.
orders out of my condo for 3 years. Like, I was packing, shipping, had the kids working, like doing all this. And so to be able to get your own warehouse, your own logistics, your own space, your own manufacturing, like, it's such a big deal. And like, I look at blessings. So during COVID, I'm typically traveling from March
Mm-hmm.
to August, and so I'm gone every 2 weeks, but I've been home. And so it's given, I have time now. And so I've been grinding and working. We set up our facility, and like, I was like, man, blessings. You look at things, that might be negative, and you take them and you
Mm-hmm.
turn them into a positive situation. So, you know, take
And I,
something and make sugar out of nothing. lemonade,
and I
lemonade
cannot.
out of lemons.
Right, right. And that's what you're doing. So I want to ask you, so we're on to our last here. I know it goes by so quick. And our
Yes.
last 7 minutes. So we talked to a little bit about what you're doing, about what you've done. Now share with us a little glimpse into more about what the future holds for you.
Yes. So
I know some of it you probably can't share. It's top secret, but the ones you
no,
can
I
share.
mean it's okay. So with Honey Baby, it's crazy, but because of COVID, it's like changed our plans. And
Hmm.
people, anyone that's watching, our retail sales are dying. If you think about it, majority of our business is retail, which where a lot of them were shut down.
Hmm.
They're only shipping essential. So e-commerce has saved us. So we're going to do a big e-commerce platform. Really focusing on that. Like I said, we just launched on Amazon. I have a new collection that is probably my best piece of work yet. I've never
Nice.
launched a collection. It's a true collection I've been working on for over a year now. I have time that we're going to be launching
Okay.
hopefully by the end of the year. So I'm really excited about that. But I think the biggest thing is I really haven't even given a look into Beauty Loft. And this is my husband and I formed this business together. And the fact that, we're able to help other brands, and it's the first of its kind beauty brand incubator for underrepresented categories. And we already
Mm.
have 3 brands that are coming underneath our umbrella, and we're going to be joining forces. It's going to be incredible. And so I'm just excited about that. I've been putting so much time and energy and focus. It's only going to make each Honey Baby stronger. It's going to make Botanica stronger. It's going to make all the brands, just have more. Think about it, combined buying power, combined facilities, strength,
Hmm.
stronger together. And that's like my mantra. Like, you have to stick together and join together to be stronger. So that's what we're working on. We have some exciting brands in the pipeline, and I'm just blessed. I feel like blessed to be where I am and to be able to make the change in people's lives.
You are blessed, but you're blessing others too. So just, continue to keep doing that. So one more time, I want people to know they can find you. At the
Okay, so
at the 11th hour. Can you hear me still?
uh,
Okay.
yes, I can hear you. So Aisha
Okay.
Ceballos Crump and my Aisha RC, AISHARC. And my company is Honey Baby Naturals, and it's just at Honey Baby Naturals. And you can find us on honeybabynaturals.com. And we actually have our skincare essentials on sale right now, and our wash day essentials, which are bomb. And they're our price. All of our products are $10.99 retail, and then online we have a lot of good deals. So make sure you follow us, try the products, and botanicabeauty.com as well too, as our sister brand.
Well, thank you so much. Everybody, make sure they go find Honey Baby Naturals and the brands that Aisha just mentioned. Somebody said 37 years in the hair business. Love this. Keep going.
Thank you.
So you are
I
getting,
don't know. I feel like it is just the beginning. Like, I'm like, we Honey Babe's around 4 years now, but I feel like we're just getting started. And it's funny because I was telling a story today to create this brand with nothing, like, and to see it grow to where it is. Now even thinking about expanding it, sky's the limit.
yes, and it is much for coming on and for sharing with us. We'll definitely have to have you back in the new year to follow up to see how all those brands are doing and see what keep up with you what the next step holds for you. We really I do. I just sincerely everyone on here appreciates it, but I want to tell you that I
Thank
appreciate it too because I always say you didn't have to, and I want to let people know that I do appreciate them. Not only do I appreciate them serving their communities, but I appreciate them, just like I said before, picking up the phone and wanting to share your story. So I'm going to be in touch with you soon. And everybody's saying, someone else said, love your products, love your products. So
oh,
thank you
you.
very much. And I will be in touch
I
with
can't
you.
wait to share the new one. So
Yay! Well,
uh,
thank you again and
thank
have a
you
great
so much,
evening. And
Taryn,
I
for
will
having
talk to
me,
you
and
soon.
thank you for this platform. It's amazing to share good inspiration, especially during the times that we are in right now.
Yes, yes, it's very important. Thank you.
All
Mwah.
right, thank you.
Have a good
Bye.
one. Thank you. Bye
You
bye.
too. Bye.